Most business users consider Microsoft Office a necessary tool to fulfill their daily assignments. As such, the entire Office suite is tightly integrated into Priority. In this video, we will demonstrate how to work with several of Priority's built-in Office integration and synchronization tools. Let's begin with Microsoft Outlook, widely considered to be the standard email and calendaring application. With the proper license and setup, you can run Priority seamlessly on Microsoft Outlook by means of a variety of dashboards. You can also view or update select types of data and run various dynamical BI reports directly from Outlook. Additional detail on designing and using dashboards and BI reports are provided elsewhere. For now, we're just going to look at how you can display a selection of dashboards, add-ons, and BI reports in your local installation of MS Outlook. Your choices will not affect the display of any other user in the system or the dashboards and reports that are available in Priority menus. Run the Priority on Outlook program accessed from the Office Management Priority on Outlook menu item. Click the Dashboards tab and flag each dashboard that you want to be available in Outlook. Next, click the BI Reports tab and select any BI reports that you want to be available on Outlook. Finally, click the Add-ons tab and flag each item that you want to include in Outlook. Now we're going to open Outlook and click the Shortcuts icon in the navigation window to the left. Shortcuts to the Add-ons dashboard and BI reports that you choose appear under the titles Priority Add-ons, Priority Dashboards, and Priority BI Reports, respectively. Let's begin with the Priority Add-ons section and click Customer Relations to open a tabbed report displaying several different types of customer relations management data. Click any report tab to view different types of data. Each report tab is fully interactive. For example, you can retrieve data in various cross-sections, click individual data fields to activate other forms, and create new records as needed, either manually or by copying an existing record. We'll demonstrate how to work with the Customers tab, but the other tabs can be used in a similar fashion. When you first open this tab, data is displayed for the default view format called This Month. Let's click More to see the criteria that determine what data is displayed for this view format and use it as a basis for creating our own custom view format. As you can see, the current view format is defined only by the range of dates on which the customers are opened. Let's click New to create a new view format using different criteria. Record a name for the new view format. Use the available fields to indicate the desired customer status, the user that customers are assigned to, and the relevant sales rep. You can also indicate whether you'd like to include all customers that meet the above criteria or limit the report data to active customers only. When you are done specifying the desired criteria, click Go to retrieve the corresponding records. The next time you enter this Report tab, you will be able to use these criteria to retrieve data by simply choosing the desired view from the Choose list. Once the data is displayed, you can click on any column title to sort the display data by the values in that column. Besides using view formats to retrieve multiple customers, you can also retrieve a specific customer by selecting them from the Choose list. You can also use this tool to open a new customer record. Use the form that opens to record the customer data, just as you would if you were working in the customer's form in Priority itself. All Choose lists that appear are populated with the relevant priority data. Once you click Save, the new customer is automatically assigned a customer number, and the record is saved into Priority Database. You can also click Save and New to clear the form after the record is saved in order to record another new customer. When you are done defining customers, you can return to the previous screen by clicking Back. If you want to clear the population displayed in order to display a different one, you can do so either by clicking More and define the desired view format, as we did earlier, or by selecting an existing view format from the Choose list. When you are ready to retrieve the new data for display, click Go. You can view additional data for any of the displayed customer by simply clicking on a customer name. The form that opens displays additional data for the customer in question and can also be used to modify customer data. All Choose lists that appear are populated with the relevant priority data, just as if you were working in the customer's form in Priority itself. You can then save your changes directly to the Priority database. Click any of the provided links to view still more data, such as tasks or sales opportunities that were opened for this customer. If a valid address is defined for the customer, you can also view a map of the address in Google Maps. You can even send a link to the customer record in an email. The Add-ons section can also be used to access your appointment calendar. You can use this calendar to view and revise scheduled appointments, just as you would in Priority itself. Detailed information on working with tasks and appointments is provided elsewhere. The first time you work with Priority on Outlook, click on My Dashboard and make sure the User Preferences window is visible. Use it to set up the data you will be viewing. For instance, if your organization maintained priority data in several different company environments, you can select the company for which to display the data. Then click on one of the dashboards in the list. The dashboard will be displayed in the main area of the screen. You can then work with the dashboard and any of its web parts as usual. Use the vertical scroll bar as needed in order to move from the upper to the lower part of the screen. In order to display the dashboard in a wider window, press Alt F1 to close the navigation window to the left of the screen. To restore the navigation window, press Alt F1 again. Similarly, you can run any of the available BI reports directly from Outlook, and then fine-tune and view the data you need in the format of your choice. Outlook synchronization is another powerful feature that can greatly boost efficiency. In fact, once you begin working with it, you will probably find it indispensable. Priority's bilateral interface with MS Outlook facilitates appointments, contact and task maintenance in and out of the office. Specifically, it can be used to synchronize calendars, import customer and vendor contact information from Outlook to Priority, create new tasks and service calls based on Outlook email messages, and update Outlook tasks with to-do items. Before running the Outlook interface for the first time, make sure your system manager has performed all the necessary setups as outlined elsewhere. In addition to this initial setup, periodic maintenance is also required in order to control how your calendar and contacts are synchronized with Priority. For example, task codes and task types must be defined to interface with Outlook if you plan to export tasks from Priority to Outlook. In addition, you may want to define a source to assign to any leads that are opened automatically from Outlook. Additional information on these and other maintenance requirements is provided elsewhere. You'll also need to set up a few things in Outlook to facilitate synchronization. For instance, you'll need to set up colored categories that will be used to synchronize contacts with Priority. During synchronization, Priority imports any Outlook contacts that are assigned a designated category color, for instance, the color black. So let's begin by setting up a general category, and we'll call it Sync, and assign it the color black. If a particular contact is associated with more than one customer in Priority, in case, for example, of a reseller that works with several different customers, you can create additional Outlook categories and use them to distinguish between the customers. To this end, you'll need to create a separate category for each customer using either their Priority customer number or a unique string from the Priority customer name. Make sure each new category is assigned a color, indicating that the contact in this category should be synchronized. Let's take a moment to understand how contacts are synchronized in order to better understand how these categories should be used. When contacts are imported from Outlook to Priority, existing contacts are identified by name and email address, as well as by customer category, where one has been assigned. If a corresponding contact is located in Priority, Outlook data will be used to update that contact. If no such contact exists in Priority, a new record is generated automatically. If the contact in question is assigned a customer category in Outlook, a corresponding Priority contact is created and linked to that customer. Otherwise, the contact is imported as a lead and assigned the designated source. The appropriate categories that can be assigned to each contact at any time before synchronization is run, regardless of whether you are working in online or offline mode at that time. Let's go ahead and do so now. Next, we'll move on to the calendar. When calendars are synchronized, all your existing appointments in Outlook are copied into your calendar in Priority and/or vice versa. If the appointment already exists in the receiving calendar, its details are updated. If it does not, it's added. If you do not want a particular Outlook appointment to be imported during synchronization, simply flag it ahead of time as private. Here's a quick example of how this type of synchronization might be used. Suppose your secretary scheduled a meeting for you in the Priority calendar, which is synchronized with Outlook. Once the meeting is over, you can record its outcome in Outlook and then synchronize the data with Priority upon returning to the office. Additional updates can then be made directly in priority. Next, you'll need to define synchronization parameters for Outlook email messages and indicate which messages to synchronize. This can be done directly in Outlook, even when working in offline mode, provided that the up-to-date priority data, such as customer numbers, are maintained on the workstation in question. To this end, you need to export priority data for synchronization with Outlook by running the Update Data for Sync with Outlook program. The first time you run this program, you'll be able to set up periodic updates, which are performed automatically each time you log into Priority. Once all preliminary data are in place and you have restarted Outlook, you are ready to begin flagging email messages for synchronization and defining synchronization parameters for individual messages. Let's take a moment to understand how messages are synchronized in order to understand which parameters to define and how these definitions will be used. Each message can be imported into priority as either a task or a service call. When email messages are imported as tasks, these are opened in the tasks form and assigned to you unless another user is specified in Outlook. The contact for the task is determined by the email address. The customer or vendor for the task is also determined by the contact, provided that this individual is directly associated with a single priority customer or vendor. If the contact is associated with more than one customer or vendor, or if you want to specify the customer/vendor yourself, you can indicate a particular customer or vendor directly in Outlook. The message text is copied to the notes sublevel form, and the message itself is added as an attachment to the task in the customer document for task sublevel form. When email messages are imported as service calls, these are opened in service calls form for a customer associated with the recipient or sender of the email. Again, this is determined either by the customer assigned to the email message or by a direct link between the contact and the customer in the contacts form. The message text is copied to the details of the malfunction sublevel form. Now that we've explained how synchronization parameters are used, let's return to Outlook and begin defining these parameters for messages we wish to import. One way to do this is simply right-click any item in Outlook and select Synchronize with Priority. In the Sync Parameters dialog box that opens, choose whether the current message will be imported as a task or as a service call, and make sure it is flagged for synchronization with priority. Additional parameters can be defined from here as well. Alternatively, you can customize the view in your Outlook Messages pane to make this process quicker and easier. In Outlook 2007, customize the current view from View, Current View menu. In the dialog box that opens, click Group By and clear the Automatically Group According to the Arrangement checkbox, and then click OK. You can then use Outlook's Field Chooser tool to add user-defined fields to Outlook based on any of the parameters used for synchronization with priority. The same procedure can be used to add user-defined fields to other Outlook folders, such as Sent Items. We're also going to enable in-cell editing in Outlook. This enables you to edit or flag columns within the message pane, making synchronization even more efficient. That is, you can now simply define synchronization parameters for each message directly within the message pane, and then flag the message in the synchronization with priority column to include it in the next synchronization. Let's quickly focus on two of the messages we'd like to synchronize with priority. The first message was sent from an email address that's already been recorded in priority. Note that the sender appears both as a customer contact for the biotech company and as an additional contact for the Silver Media company. Since this contact is currently linked to more than one customer, we'll have to choose which customer this message should be associated with when synchronization is performed. We can do so right now from within Outlook itself by simply selecting the desired customer from a choose list. This list is populated with all of the customers defined in priority at the time the update data for Sync with Outlook program was last run. As you will shortly see, another sender has not yet been linked to any of the customers in priority. We can indicate right here in Outlook that the email from this sender should also be linked to the biotech company. Depending on how your system is set up, a new contact may also be created for the sender when synchronization is performed. This contact would then be linked to the same customer. Note the subject for the second message, price quote number PQ12000005. Tasks created from mail messages such as this one are automatically linked to the relevant document in priority once the synchronization is performed, provided that the full document number appears in the subject line. Use Outlook's standard grouping and sorting tools to arrange messages according to any of the user-defined fields you added. For instance, you can use these tools to easily locate all messages that are being imported as service calls and sort them by customer. Finally, we are ready to perform the synchronization itself. The first time you run the synchronization program, you'll have to do so manually and indicate the types of data you want to synchronize. You'll also be able to set up periodic updates, which will be performed automatically at the designated intervals. To do so, let's move from Outlook and open the Synchronization with Outlook dialog box from the Mail menu in Priority top bar. In the first section, indicate whether you want to synchronize calendars and in which direction synchronization should be performed. In the next section, indicate whether to import contacts from Outlook and designate the color category used to identify Outlook contacts to be synchronized, black in this case. We'll also specify the color to be assigned once synchronization is complete. Since we define synchronization parameters for messages directly in Outlook, we can skip the rest of this section. In the third section, indicate whether to update Outlook tasks based on your to-do list. If this option is flagged, any item appearing on your priority to-do list and assigned to you, for example, a sales order that you are responsible for, they will be transferred to your Outlook tasks. If you have multiple mail folders defined in Outlook, specify the Outlook folder to be synchronized. Similarly, if you work with multiple companies in priority, you must also specify the priority company with which to synchronize Outlook. Outlook will always be synchronized with the specified company regardless of the priority company in which you are working at the time of the synchronization. Finally, we're going to schedule automatic synchronization with Outlook. You can also run the synchronization program manually by clicking Sync Now. Once synchronization has been performed successfully, you can view the results in the relevant priority form. For instance, we can open and update the tasks we just created for the biotech customer. Similarly, you can open your priority calendar to view any new appointments created during the synchronization and view new or updated contacts in the Leads and Contacts form. You may also send appointment details to participants who may not have access to priority, for example, users working remotely and customers or vendor contacts. The scheduling information recorded in priority, such as participants, start time, end time, and more, is sent to the participants as an email attachment, which can be uploaded directly into the recipient's Outlook calendar. Before you begin, make sure that email addresses are defined in priority for all the participants. To send appointment information, return to the Tasks form and retrieve the desired record. Then select Send Outlook Message to Participants from the list of direct activations. Note that email attachment created by this program is not limited to use with Outlook only, but may also be viewed and uploaded into other scheduling programs. When running a report in priority, users can choose to generate a new report or access a report that was run previously, that is, a saved report. In either case, unless you specify otherwise, the finished report is displayed in an HTML page. You can then use any of the standard browser options to save or print the page. You can also use the icons that appear at the top of the report to export the report data to Excel, Word, or Outlook, respectively. Alternatively, you can bypass the HTML page altogether and send the report directly to MS Office. If you are running a new report, you can select Send to Excel option before generating the report in order to send the report data directly to an Excel spreadsheet. If you are running a saved report, you can choose to send the report with MS Word or attach it to an email. Similarly, all documents that are generated in priority offer several print or send options, which typically include options to send the report as an email attachment or open and save the report in Word. Moreover, Priority enables authorized users to create custom-designed Word and Excel templates for any system form using Priority's Word document generator and Excel report generator. These templates can then be used to generate an infinite variety of documents that include select data fields exported directly from Priority forms and reports. Such templates are particularly useful for printing checks directly from Priority using bank, vendor, and payment data that have already been recorded in Priority. Detailed instructions on designing and using Word and Excel templates for system data and on printing checks based on Word templates are provided elsewhere. This concludes our tour of Priority's Office integration and synchronization tools.